So if you are currently in the category of 35% body fat and think, is this realistically reversible? Fear not. It absolutely is, and we've done this on 3 occasions, as you can see here, one on the screen, one on the left completely down to a 6-pack, one in the middle has cut all the way down to around 13 or so percent. We then entered a gaining phase, and then we'll then cut down again to showcase another 6-pack. And then the one on the right is not a finished result yet, maybe a few more kilograms to go, but has lost over 20 kilograms. In fact, in all cases, they've lost best part of 25 kilograms to get down from 35% to, in a healthy body fat percentage range. So just know there is absolutely light at the end of the tunnel, and in this video we're going to discuss how you as a 35% body fat individual should approach fat loss, because I do think the knowledge for you out there is fairly limited because people don't really want to touch and dabble into it. They see it as too big of a job when I'm up for a challenge. So if you're new to the channel, by the way, welcome. My name is Tom Sergi. I run the Gorilla Platoon, which is an online physique transformation program where we get results like this each and every week, and then we speak about them online. And I promise to you by the end of this video, you'll know how to go from 35% body fat down to 10% at that leaner level. So let's waste no time. Let's get straight into it. How should you approach this if you're 35% body fat? The first thing we must understand, and this is an absolute must, do not skip this. You of all people cannot afford to skip this, and this is to get your mindset in the right space for such a task. The way I want you to approach this transformation of your life is the same way you would approach a big mountain that you're going to go and climb and move to a new city, a different style of job that you're going to go and take on. You must approach it with the same. Why? Well, because you're going to take such a drastic transformation, it's going to need drastic measures that you take towards it. And this is not to scare you. This is just to make you think long term. If you think about the person you are now and think you're going to be happy in 2 to 3 weeks, you won't. And that's where most of you will quit, because you haven't got the mental bandwidth or the mental strength to push through when times are not really giving you what you want. And I can tell you right now, in phase 1, you're not going to see much change at all. You'll go from 35%, you'll drop 10 kilos, you'll still look fat. I can tell you that right now, you'll still look fat. In fact, I made a video on 35% down to 10%, just the photos. Go watch that for a bit of inspiration, and you'll see the first 10 kilos, you don't even look any different. Obviously, clothes fit better, scale weight is significantly less, you've seen tangible progress. But why do I bring this point up? Well, it's to make you understand that when you start on this journey, you're going to start by, first of all, getting into the tunnel, which is a good job. Like, if we look at where you are at 35% to 10%, you're going to have to walk through this long, dark, cold tunnel. Most of you are too scared to even get in it. So if you actually get in the tunnel and start, then every credit to you. But that early stage of the tunnel is going to be pretty miserable. You're just going to be walking into darkness, away from the character that you currently are. And for some reason, you've managed to get to 35% body fat, which is obviously unacceptable, but there's a reason why you got to 35% body fat, and that's because you are compensating for something in your life. There is something in your life that makes you turn to food, and because of that, that is your comfort zone. The issue you're going to face when you go on this journey, and this is why I say get your mindset right first, is because you need to fix that. You need to address what it is full on. You need to go through the initial pain so that future you doesn't have to live in the pain that you're currently in for the rest of your life. Because I know you're not happy eating a load of food and being 35% body fat. Obviously, you won't be watching this video. So you need to address whatever that issue is, and it's going to be painful, because whatever the issue is something you've been avoiding. So I'm telling you to go full frontal and head straight to that pain, and whatever it is that looks and feels like, and address that straight on. This is important. This is important. You do not. If you skip this step, I'll tell you what will happen. You'll get given the plan. You'll get given the nutrition. You'll get given the training plan. You part already know what to do. But if it were as simple as follow the training plan and the nutrition plan, no one would be 35% body fat. You would all do as told, and you get the result. But it's not that simple, because what goes on between your eyes is ultimately stopping you. You don't want to leave your identity because it's comfortable, and that's understandable. Your identity is how you know to put yourself out into the world. It's how you know to receive feedback from people in the world. That's your identity. That is you. You are this name from this country. Currently, you're this age. You do this job, and you're seen as this guy with these tendencies and these traits. I'm telling you, you need to leave all them behind if you want to become 10% body fat. This is the main thing I do for the guys that were able to transform their physique. I gave them the belief that they could become a new character. You must do the same. You must believe that you can become someone. You must believe you can become anything in life. And I've realized this The people that are someone in life, they just generally tried it. They just fucking tried. This, where I've got to in life right now, which I'm pretty happy with, I just fucking tried. I just put the effort in, thought, well, why not me? I'm willing to fucking film a YouTube on a Sunday. You know, why not me? Why can't I go to the moon? You must have the same thing. You must have, and I can guarantee you, there's something in your life you've been disciplined at. I mean, fucking hell, you're clearly disciplined a bit about like putting food in your mouth. Otherwise, you wouldn't have been able to bulk all the way up to 35% body fat. So you got the discipline. You're just putting it into the wrong thing. You're putting the energy into the wrong thing. When realistically, what would be better is if you found pain, the best way to deal with it would have been to walk it off. Go and walk it off, because all you've got there is emotion, which is stored energy in motion, which you needed to go and burn. But rather than going and burning that energy in motion, you ate and you ate and you ate and you ate until you got to the size you did. Maybe you got injured and then that led to it, maybe. But still, there was a point where you weren't injured and you weren't burning that energy in motion, and that's how you got to the state you're in right now. So you must understand that, first of all, you're going to go through this long, cold, dark tunnel. But fucking hell, it can't go on forever. There's going to be light at the end of that tunnel as long as you just keep walking one foot in front of the other. As long as each and every day, and here's your actionable step that you're going to do right now. You're going to write down that character that you want to become. So if we take this image, for example, the character he wanted to become, that's what you want to do. It's how does he think? What's his mindset like? What type of music does he listen to? Who are the people in his life? What clothes does he wear? What does he do for a job? Create your character. Create your character that you want to become. Because if you don't do this, if you skip this step and you just listen to the diet, nutrition advice I give you, you go straight to that, you'll fuck it up. Because you're not the guy. You're just simply not the guy, and you'll fuck it up. But if you do this practice, it will give you a North Star to walk towards. You're walking through the middle of the desert and you're out in the fucking Ulu and you don't know where you are. If you've got a North Star to follow, it will guide you. You need to have a North Star when you're on this, because there'll be hard days. There'll be miserable days. There'll be days where it's 8 o'clock at night. You've still got 4,000 steps to do in 20 minutes of cardio, and you've only got one meal left, and you're fucking hungry. There'll be days like that. Those days are coming for you. Do you know why? Because those days are to test, are you really the guy? Are you really that character? And as long as you've got that vision in your head of the person you need to become, you'll follow it through. Don't just think about this for you as well. If you think that all this time and effort I'm going to have to put in is selfish on me, who would be a better father? You at 10% body fat or you at 35% body fat? Get all variables the same. I mean, you'd probably be able to run around with your kids a lot quicker if you were 10% body fat than if you were 35. Who would be a better husband? I don't care what you say, your partner would find you more desirable at 10% body fat than they would at 35. Who would respect you more in the workplace? Someone's 35%, someone's 10%. The 10% body fat guy, right? Who would you want to be friends with more? And you know what I mean? Let's put this bluntly. All the answers are if you're 10% body fat. So in a weird way, if you want to benefit everyone else around you, don't be selfless and focus on don't be selfless and focus on other people. Be selfish and focus on you so you can help other people. Never be scared of looking after number one. Because if you can look after number one, you can help other people. If you don't, you're useless anyway. You're like a fucking chocolate fire guard. So that's the first thing I'll say. Frame your mindset. On the micro, so we've given you a North Star to follow to walk through the dark cold tunnel or the fucking desert Ulu and where to go to. Now we need to give you tangibles. So when you are in your space of 35% body fat, in the beginning, you don't need a massive calorie deficit. You can if you want to, but do you know why I'm going to tell you not to do that? Because I don't want you to play all your tools early. This guy here, we started on about 2.4. We've been dieting for probably 25 weeks, and we're only just at 2,000. We only pulled 400 calories in his whole duration to see that level of drop off. This guy was a very similar story as well. So don't go so low. The reason is you're in a deficit anyway. You've got a lot of body fat to drop. In the very early stages of dropping body fat, because you're 35%, it will fucking melt. If you just sit in a deficit, train 3 times a week, 10,000 steps a day, 20 minutes of cardio, it will fucking melt anyway. So don't play all your cards at once. Also, this is going to make dieting feel a lot easier because you're going to be on a lot more food. People will try and stick you straight on 1,800 calories because you're so fat and think, oh, that's what you need to do to drop. Honestly, it doesn't really work. You run out of steam. It loses its effect on you because your body adapts to what you give it. And if you only give it 1,800 calories, it'll learn to survive on 1,800 calories. But guess what? It's not going to be equipped to drop in body fat. And you're not going to get the fruits out of your labour that you should do. So let's say you're... And you know what I'm going to say? I'm not even going to go too much into the mathematics like I do in every other video. What I would say is you eat for 7 days and track all your food and track your scale weight. From there, pull down just literally like 200 calories or like some carbohydrates out of one of the meal, and you'll see it drop off. First and foremost, let's set your protein target. So your protein target when you're 35% body fat is not 1 gram per pound of body weight, because obviously body fat doesn't require the protein. So what you're going to do is take your height in centimeters. That number, that's your new protein gram amount. Set your protein target first. Make sure you're eating a mixture of fatty and lean protein options, and set your protein target. From there, you're then going to set your fat target, which is going to be 20% of the overall calorie target we get to, and then the rest you'll fill with carbohydrates. From there, you're then going to walk 10,000 steps a day, and you're also going to do 20 minutes of formal cardio. When it comes to your resistance training, you're going to train 3 times per week for the first 12 weeks, and then you can push up from there to a 4-day. The reason I say just start with that 35% is because you don't need that much stimulus on a 35% body fat body to build muscle, because you're already at a low muscle amount anyway. So look at it like this. It's like your headache doesn't need pills that cure cancer. Your headache just needs a tablet that's going to cure a headache. Yours is the same for training stimulus. So put that much amount of dosage on it. But just make sure you track your lifts. Lift slowly, lift with full range of motion, lift with good tempo, and train to failure after week 1 when you found your feet with it. And you'll find that by building muscle, you increase your metabolism and your capacity for food that's needed. Now, each and every week, you're going to be tracking your scale weight. Don't be married to this number. Don't have a weird obsession with it. It's just a fucking scale weight. It's just going to tell you whether you are or aren't dropping weight. And if you're not dropping weight, then you're going to add 10 minutes of formal cardio. You're going to go to 30 minutes of cardio daily. So realistically, if you're 35% body fat, you're obviously quite a big person. As a hard rule, start on 2,400 calories. Make sure your protein is 1 gram per the height of your centimetre. Set your fat target to 20% of 2,400. Fill the rest with carbohydrates. And I can say that pretty universally just off the 3 guys I've done and where roughly you'll need to start at. But of course, you're going to track your scale weight for 7 days. You're going to push up 30 minutes of cardio if it doesn't drop. If it doesn't drop again, then fine. Drop 200 calories off that. I would probably go for fats first and then your carbs second from there. And you're just going to keep rinsing and repeating that out. Now, it literally is that simple of just when you don't see a drop off, increase more output until output is too much and affects routine. And then at that point, pull down some fats for sure, or then pull down some carbs. And it's just a case of rinsing and repeating that out for as long as you're dropping a kilogram. Now, because you are 35% body fat, I can tell you right now, you're going to be dieting for longer than 20 weeks. So don't be shy if you get to 20 weeks. Still got quite a bit to lose, be quite fatigued from dieting, both mentally and physically. Don't be shy of putting in like a 3 or a 4 week diet break. Eat at maintenance for those times. Still train. You can put a deload week in. You're going to need deloads after like week 12 and week 20 anyway. But then bring your food back up. Just allow your body and your mind to rest, and then go into the next phase, which would be your championship rounds then from like week 20 to anywhere up to like week 30. Because if you're 35% body fat, you're going to need to drop 25, 30 kilograms. You could do that in 30 weeks, 100% when you got that much body fat, but then it will break it up into phases for you. The main thing is keep you on the straight line. You'll have many reasons as to why it wants to take you off the straight line. Your own brain will try and sabotage your progress midway through. Your own brain will tell you when you get to 20 weeks in, you've dropped 20 kilograms, it'll try and tell you you're happy. You're not fucking happy at like losing 20 kilograms and being 15% body fat. Go for the championship. Go think of the character. Always think of the character when you're along that journey, because if you don't, you'll fall off, you'll lose your way, and you'll never get there. You'll always be still soft. And that's it. It's like, yeah, you're not fat, but you're still soft. And like, is that what you wanted? Probably not. You wanted like the nice physique, like the one you see on the left here. So that's how I want you to approach it. Notice how my advice when it comes to the feeding and stuff versus when I'm giving it to someone going from 20% to 10 is not as rigorous, because it doesn't need to be in the beginning. Because if I give you outright specifics, you'll focus on the specifics and you'll just not follow it, because you won't do the underlying principles and the mindset. I can tell you now, in your case, it is all mindset. with like, sure, we can make sound decisions, which everything I've told you, if you do, you're going to get the result from anyway, but it doesn't need to be bolt rigid. And you know why I also say that? Because if it is, you won't do it. It'll scare you off because it's like, it's too far away from this person that you are. And that's why it's important to frame it this way. If I try and give you the raw science and make it all data-y and like, this is how it should be, you'll just get scared away and you just won't do it. Not in like oh, this is scary, but it's just like, it's too uncomfortable, it's too far away from the person you are, so that's why you won't stick to it. So that's why I have to frame it in this way of like, walk through the tunnel, think of the person you need to become, just do the thing daily, turn your brain off, and you'll fucking get the result, boys. So if you found this video value, great, subscribe to the channel. If you want me to do this for you, there are links in the description. Apart from that, I'll see you tomorrow.